Adorable.
Isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Happy, outgoing. His IQ is over the moon. He has no genetic disorders and a very strong immune system.
But you said his parents are suing you.
For $20 million.
Okay. Well, we'll need to bring Harry in to a pediatrician for a second opinion to confirm his good health.
We won't be able to bring him in. Harry hasn't been born yet. His mother is not due until December.
Oh, this is from the genome analysis on the embryo.
The biophysical projection based on his innate characteristics.
They keep upgrading these. Look at his eyes. You can see the green flecks. This is what he's going to look like at, what, 7?
We could have done them out to 100 years old. And with his lipid profile, he'll probably live that long, especially with the mellow disposition he's going to have.
So they responded to this news by suing you for $20 million.
There was one other thing. I forgot to tell them that some base pairs in X chromosomal region Q28 were reversed. So he's 45% more likely to be left-handed.
They're this upset at a 45% chance he's going to be a lefty?
No. They're upset about the 95% chance that he's also going to be gay.
He gave them a readout of over 10,000 genetic characteristics for that embryo. After going over it, they were satisfied and decided to go ahead and impregnate.
Blissfully unaware that they were implanting a gay child.
Exactly. But last month, she started cramping. At the hospital, they ran a genetic test. Turned out she was fine. But when the doctor ran the new chart, wham, check in the box next to gay.
So they're suing for $20 million?
Apparently, the wife has been severely emotionally distressed. They claim they've been harmed by Dr. Bressak's failure to give them this information.
And why did the doctor fail to tell him the boy was going to be gay?
No, the question is, why does it matter?
I want to know if my kid was going to be gay. What? Sue me. I'd want to know.
Do you live in the Stone Age?
The vice president of this country is gay.
Okay, fantastic. Off you go, then you two, and have all your gay babies gay. They're very inspirational. There's no value judgment. I would just, want to be able to stock up on opera tickets. I mean, I'd want to know. Why didn't he tell me?
Darwin, have you seen one of these profiles? Display, Bressak file.
Musical ability, analytical ability, tendency to religious faith. I still don't believe they can predict this stuff.
Well, where's sequence, what's its name? The gay gene sequence.
Section 130B. Technician forgot to input it.
There's no check in the box.
Okay, Bressak ultimately is responsible, but $20 million in damages? That's insane. Even if he neglected to tell them about the genetic predisposition, we're looking at a healthy baby here. This will settle. I got the resume you forwarded.
You gotta admit, Hannah, she has a lot of experience.
As an exotic virtual dancer. Darwin, you know what? That's not the point. We went over this. You can't hire her.
What? She can learn English. She can learn it.
You can't hire anyone. Didn't I make myself clear? You are under no circumstances to hire any personal assistant whatsoever. We cannot withstand any more harassment suits.
Hannah, I understand. I have learned a very valuable life lesson, and I'm a changed man.
Since Tuesday.
Okay, look, what are you telling me? I'm never gonna have an assistant again? I mean, who would I yell at?
Your friends?
I don't have any friends. I'm kidding. Look, but listen, who's gonna answer my telephone?
Scotty will show you. Scotty, show him.
Scotty. Hannah, come on.
One look at her and you're gonna go, human being? So last week, there she is. Wait, don't look at her, this is the default option. Just a second. Check this out.
Scotty, what is that?
I'm just giving you some options.
Wait, go back. Yeah, her.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love your curly brown hair.
Pre-programmed with over 47 personalized compliments. Give her a road test. You're gonna love her.
Blue is definitely your color. Cute shirt. With those new pants, I bet you work out a ton. Terrific smile.
Well, so. Huh? No more underpaid, exploited, pissed off assistants who secretly hate your guts and spend every waking second plotting your demise, huh?
Nice ass.
They did that?
Oh my God, look, her eyes follow you around.
The X509 responds to all verbal commands, automatically answers your phone, organizes your schedule, reminds you of meetings and birthdays, sends gifts, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. Wait. Check this out. You're a vacuous, uneducated bimbo with really fake boobs.
You are upset with me.
Therapeutic software. No whining, no personal baggage. I can definitely live with that, huh?
It's not that we're homophobes. It's just that you've got to be realistic here. It's harder to be gay in our culture. The overwhelming majority of people are straight.
So whatever the majority is always better?
No, not better, easier.
Spare us the sermonizing. Dr. Bresic fertilized 12 embryos for my client, and they paid him $3,000 a pop for the genetic workup.
5 of them were female. You already had a girl, so we only did full workups on the male embryos.
And you picked Harry.
I just fell in love with the picture, I guess.
And now that he's gay, you fell out of love? How love fades.
That's not what we're talking about here. My brother's gay. Do you want to know how his life was growing up? A couple of guys followed him home from high school one day, slammed his head into the sidewalk. I don't want to wake up in the morning and tell my son he has to walk out into a world where this can happen to him.
So you decided he shouldn't be born.
That's not what we're saying.
She doesn't have to explain this. They paid you to make an informed decision, and you misinformed them.
Fine, we copped to a clerical error. Now let's settle on a number you didn't pick out of a hat. Say in the low thousands.
Oh, please forget it. 20 million is our number, and we are not negotiating.
Oh, hey, let's try it out on a jury. I can't wait.
Thank you so much for meeting me on such short notice.
Of course.
I'm Dennis Sanchez. I'm at Miller Sanchez Investment Banking.
And you said you were arrested.
Yes.
What was the charge? I should warn you, I don't generally handle financial litigation.
No, this isn't a business thing. I'm being accused of burglarizing this woman's apartment. It's insane. I mean, I'm not guilty. Well, I did break into her apartment. I did take a bunch of her stuff.
17. What did you take?
Oh, not much. A few appliances, 6 or 7 pairs of pants, some linens, pillows, stuff like that. A mattress and a shower head and the front door.
You took the front door?
Yeah, it was a bitch. I had to strap it onto the roof of my car.
So, in what sense are you not guilty?
For about 5 months, I dated this woman. And then we moved in together. And then last month, she dumped me.
And this was her apartment you broke into?
Her smart apartment. Over by the Grove, they've renovated these turn-of-the-century buildings.
Oh, yeah, I love those places. Your refrigerator senses you're low on milk, it orders a gallon from Whole Foods.
Yes. Well, anyway, while we were together, she programmed her smart apartment with me. And I was so naive, I thought it was because she liked me. She programmed her kitchen appliances to cook my personal recipes, her smart pillow to snore like me, her shower head sings my favorite songs. She programmed her nano pants.
To do what, your favorite dance?
The knees heat up every few hours. Like my hand is on her knee.
She downloaded you, and now she's using the downloads without your permission.
She squeezed me dry and threw me out like a used tube of hair generator. I'm the victim here. All I did was take back something that already belonged to me. Myself.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. It was nice of you to drop by. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you? You know, I'd have figured you for a morning person.
What's up, Frank?
I obtained access to Dr. Bresak's files. Via subpoena, of course. I left them for you in your office. Take a gander. You might find yourself with an overwhelming urge to settle. I gotta go. I'm late for a colonic. I gotta get the excess testosterone flushed out of my system.
Can the crap. What's in the record?
Oh, I got your attention now, huh? It seems old Bresic forgot to tell not just one, but several hundred of his patients that their unborn children were gay. He's a forgetful little fella, isn't he? Well, see you in court.
Excuse me.
Dr. Brezak, how the hell do you expect me to win this? You lied to me. You said it was just an innocent mistake. How many innocent mistakes have there been? 100, 200? How many of your patients have you lied to?
Once we started doing the full genetic workups, the same thing kept happening over and over.
No one picked the embryos with the gene sequence.
Couples always found a way to pick another child. I started asking around. All my colleagues were seeing the same thing.
So the gay population...
It's declining. Everybody knows about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. According to the census, it's down 15% since 2020. The gay community says it's more like 50%, but either way, in a few generations, the gay community could be completely wiped out.
Why didn't you just publicize it then? Raise the issue instead of lying to your patients.
I wrote a few op-ed pieces. I think maybe I got 7 letters back. Nothing changed. What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit around and watch while an entire population was exterminated? No. I did the only thing I could do. I lied.
Okay, well, let's go back to identity.
We may.
She saved money on mate finders?
Later.
Lucas, come get scanned. Marty, she'll scan you. It's hysterical. Come, just take a second. Come on, 1 second. Boxy, scan.
Good morning, Marty.
That's creepy.
I understand.
Boxy, tell him a joke. Boxy, tell
There are
him.
3 kinds of people. Those who are good at math and those who aren't. In Zimbabwe, a cloud of noxious gas has killed 63, leaving hundreds in critical condition.
No, Marty.
A new literacy survey shows
Boxy,
that
go back to the
36%
joke.
of
Do the
Americans
joke.
chose Donald Duck when asked to identify the Bard of Avon.
Can the news downloads or I'm pulling your plug, okay?
My toaster, my oven mitts, my sheets, my mattress, my Italian pillows. He took my front door. I mean, can you believe that? That is a custom-made mahogany door.
And what would you estimate as the value of the belongings Mr. Sanchez stole from your apartment?
Over $20,000, but that's not even the point. Some of the stuff that he took is irreplaceable. He stole my 6-year-old's teddy bear.
No further questions.
Miss Morse, how long were you and Mr. Sanchez living together? About 5 months. During that time, you managed to program a large number of his personal attributes to your possessions and smart appliances. In fact, simulating his personality. People keep other people's photographs all the time. Why shouldn't I keep his personality? Because it belongs to him. Well, hello. I mean, he still has the original. It's not like I took it away from him. And did you date Mr. Sanchez deliberately with the purpose of downloading his personality? It didn't start out that way. I really was in love with him. For a while, anyway. Yeah, that's why I programmed all that stuff. But you asked him to move out. Yes, well, look, he's sweet. He really is, but when you have to live with him every day, I mean, he just gets so annoying. He tells these long anecdotes about his clients, and then he just does these imitations. And God, but he is a great cook and a good singer. And I liked his accent, and I like the way he smells. He smelled nice. So I programmed the microfibers of my sweater to retain his odor. I mean, I just kept all the stuff about him that I liked. Now, girls, this is a breakthrough. I mean, all that time and energy you put into dating losers, forget about it. Gone. I am talking all the upsides of a steady relationship without the needy guy wanting you to feed his ego 24/7. And you know what, Dennis? I am surprised. You should be flattered that I wanted your personality.
Flattered?
Yes.
Flattered that you think I'm a boring jerk and a loser?
No, you can't just break in and clean out my closet, Dennis. Give me back my nano pants.
Well, the thing is, what Dr. Brezak did is morally right. He was answering to a higher law, the ethic of what's right in society.
California Medical License Code, first paragraph pledges physicians to work for the service of humanity.
Right, exactly. So argue he was following the code, and in the interest of serving humanity, he broke a lesser law.
Come look at these. All these kids. No, hypothetical kids.
Blonde, blue-eyed, tall, above average intelligence.
High risk of becoming an alcoholic. Next. Shy, manic depressive, short. None of these kids will ever be anything more than a genetic profile. After they tested the embryos, nobody wanted them. They got weeded out. It's sick, really.
Now we should have a kid together. Be great, don't you think? What? We play our gene pools right, we could get a depressed shopaholic.
With really good hair.
No, but seriously, though, Hannah Banana, I mean, you ever think about having a kid? You'd be a great mother.
I may need your help on this one.
Okay, we're all set for trial Thursday. Discovery is finished. I've got your witness list.
Your Honor, I see that Ms. Crane wants to call a demographer, Dr. Patrick Sinclair. This is a waste of the court's time. He should be stricken.
Your Honor, Dr. Sinclair will testify to a dramatic decline in the gay population.
Fascinating. What's your point?
If Dr. Bresak had informed his patients of their unborn children's sexual identity, he would have been complicit in wiping an entire minority group off the face of the earth. This is eugenics, Hitler's dream.
Please, that's a bit paranoid, don't you think?
Dr. Sinclair will demonstrate that if the trend continues at its current rate, we could be looking at the complete elimination of the gay community in a matter of generations.
So, what about shy people, lazy people? They've declined too. Bresik's not doing his medical cowboy thing for them.
Those are personality traits. I'm talking about an entire class of people.
Yeah, and the operative word being people, who exist. And you have to exist to be destroyed, and embryos are not people.
This is very thought-provoking, Ms. Crane, but it goes to public policy. If Congress wants to ban genetic testing, it can, but right now the test is legal. And the defendant apparently agreed to administer it.
He found administering it unconscionable.
Well, then he should find a different line of work.
I'm sorry, Ms. Crane. I'm disallowing your witness. The trial will be confined to the question of whether your client harmed these plaintiffs.
What do we do now?
Talk about harm.
So, Mrs. Jansen, this is one of several children you chose not to give birth to.
Objection! This is irrelevant and prejudicial.
It goes to the severe mental distress Dr. Bresik's actions inflicted on Mrs. Jansen.
I'll allow it.
Can you describe this boy's personality? Or what his personality would have been like?
Well, a little bit shy. High verbal abilities. He excelled at abstract analysis.
But ultimately you decided against him?
Sounds so awful when you say it like that. It's just that I'm shy. I know what that's like. It's hard to be shy. We chose Harry because he was more likely to be gregarious, which I think is easier in life. I was just trying to do what was right for my baby.
And were there other babies you chose not to have?
Objection! We are not talking about babies. These are genetic profiles. They're purely hypothetical. Why not just put a picture of Oliver Twist up there? He's imaginary too.
Oliver Twist, as far as I know, doesn't exist in embryo. I'm talking about the severe distress my client...
We get it, Mr. Summers. Ms. Crane, the objection is overruled.
Was this another embryo that you chose not to have?
Yes, he was cute and sweet, but his IQ wasn't very high. I wanted him to have a fighting chance in the world. He was prone to mood swings. Oh, this is so hard. I could have loved all of them, but I had to choose. And then I found out that Dr. Bresak lied, and I started seeing them in my dreams every night. It's like they were haunting me. Now I can't sleep.
You've been diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression, correct?
Yes. I'm seeing a psychiatrist 3 times a week. It's cost us thousands of dollars. I'm just trying to hang on here.
You're a witness.
So, Mrs. Jansen, are you saying that you shouldn't have picked the child you did pick? The boy you call Harry?
I don't know anymore what I should have done. That's the thing.
Are you saying he shouldn't be allowed to exist because he's likely to be gay?
It's the choice that we were given. I didn't ask to be given it, but it's my family. And it is my choice, not Dr. Bresak's.
Thank you so much for coming in on such short notice.
Not at all. Dr. Bresik's in some kind of trouble?
Possibly. Yeah, please. Here. Yeah, he was your fertility specialist, right?
He was an angel. They told me that I'd never have kids.
Right. Good. And so you ultimately did have Julian, right?
He's 15 now.
Right. Absolutely. And, are you aware, I mean, there may be something about, Julian that Dr. Bresic forgot to tell you.
You mean that he's gay?
Oh, so I'm not, outing him here.
No, we kind of figured out he was gay.
Around the time he asked a boy to the junior prom.
Oh, so you don't have a problem with his being gay, then?
You're talking about our son here. We love him. End of story.
He's the greatest guy. He's incredibly musical, like George.
I'm a musician. And I really wanted a kid who loved music. However, I have a very serious problem with his taste in music. The crap he listens to. It's just noise.
But otherwise, you don't have any serious issues with him.
He's a great kid. I mean, look at him.
Your Honor, he's delightful. Irrelevant.
Your Honor, this goes to the fact that Dr. Bressek's actions in the long run do not in any way harm his patients.
Fine, overruled, but get to it, Miss Crane.
Mr. Hahn, what was your reaction when you discovered that Dr. Bressek had lied to you about Julian's genetic profile?
I was surprised, sure. But having kids is about being surprised every day.
So you don't feel harmed by his omission?
Harmed? Don't get me started. Everybody loves him. Did we tell you? He got the citizenship award at his high school. Out of 5,000 students.
Thank you. I'm sure we can get all the details privately. No further questions.
So you're completely comfortable with the fact that your son is gay?
Yeah.
And you're not disappointed that he's never gonna marry a woman and have children with her?
You know what? You want me to tell you that I'm disappointed in my son. Isn't that what you're insinuating? That my son isn't good enough for you. Because that kind of homophobic crap is exactly what Dr. Bresic is talking about. And as the proud parent of a gay child, I resent it.
Nothing further.
Mr. Sanchez, what other aspects of your personality did Ms. Morse take from you?
It's not just my personality, it's my entire history. She stole my grandmother's recipe for green corn tamales. That's part of my family's tradition. She stole my Puffy the Clown stories and programmed them into her teddy bear. Those were the stories that my grandfather used to tell me when he tucked me in at night.
Where is this heading?
Your Honor, we're building the case that the items that Mr. Sanchez took were in fact his intellectual property because they were imbued with his personal characteristics.
I cannot buy that a pair of nano pants is intellectual.
Well, the essence of a person is a concept, therefore intellectual.
Oh, I'm the intellectual. I program the stuff.
Sit down, Miss Morse.
I'm entitled to use your personality however I want. And what do you care? You're not even there.
Raya, stop.
That's all I was to
Order,
set it.
Bailiff.
Dennis, sit down.
You rejected me! How can you say you want my personality?
No,
Why
I
would
don't
you
know.
say-
I didn't, Dennis. I just kind of missed you. That's all.
I'll have you both in contempt of court.
Mr. Hahn, do you think your life has been more difficult because you're gay?
You mean like being harassed and stuff? There were a couple guys in junior high, I guess. They called me a fag.
Was it traumatic?
No, they were pretty sad cases, actually.
So you don't think you've been damaged by being alive?
No, that whole non-existence thing is really overrated.
Your witness.
Were you nervous when you first told your parents you were gay?
I guess.
You were afraid they'd reject you, weren't you?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
Julian, you love football. Am I right?
No, I'm not a sports kind of guy.
Really? Well, you played in the Pan Pacific Football League from, let me see. From 2020 to 2025, between 5 and 11 years old. That's a lot of years for a non-sports guy.
Well, I mean, my dad just kind of signed me up for it.
Well, why? Did he think you were a sports kind of guy? He didn't. He wanted you to play anyway. He wanted you to be different than you are.
It wasn't like that.
But you knew that he wanted you to play football. You knew that he wanted you to be that kind of guy, so you pretended. Because you wanted so badly to make him happy.
Objection, completely speculative.
Sustained. Mr. Summers, get it together.
So after you stopped pretending and you came out and you acknowledged that you were gay, did you find that your father was completely comfortable with you? A little stilted, a little awkward? A little forced? don't know. Talk about your personal life? Sex? Who you dating? There's a lot of personal stuff you two don't talk about. You can't talk about. Think that's the kind of relationship he wanted to have with his son?
Objection, speculative.
Withdraw the question. Have you ever felt like you were a disappointment to your father? Ever? Even occasionally? Has anyone in this courtroom ever felt like he did not disappoint his father at some time? Or do you just refuse to answer?
Yeah, I do think he was disappointed. I could see it in his face. Look, let's be honest. I mean, I know I'm not the kind of son you would have expected. I know you'd never admit it, but in your heart, I'm not the kind of son you would have hoped for. I mean, you make the best of it, and you're cool. If you'd known before I was born that I was gonna be gay, you would have picked a different kid. Look me in the eye and tell me you wouldn't have picked someone else.
They want you back on the stand.
Why do they need me again?
Because it now appears the witness wasn't entirely truthful before.
I'm going to allow it, Mr. Summers, but be brief. Mr. Hahn, I remind you that you're still under oath.
We'll be brief, Your Honor. Mr. Hahn, do you acknowledge that you are not completely comfortable with the fact that your son is gay? That it has been at times difficult for you and for him?
Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further. As I said, Your Honor, brief.
Mr. Hahn, is it possible that if Dr. Bresak had given you accurate test results, you would have chosen not to have Julian?
It's possible. But I would have been wrong. Because a list of characteristics can't measure your child.
Why, George? Why can't a list of characteristics measure your child?
Because it wouldn't have shown how great his laugh is. Or how he taught me to love roller coasters. Or how he sat up with me all night. When my father died. You made us get a lizard. You made me look at a raindrop under a microscope. You made me take you camping on the beach. And that night, it must have been 3 in the morning. Neither of us could sleep. Walked out and stood in the ocean, looking at the moon. And it was about as happy as I can ever remember being. Julian, kiddo, if you're not what I expected, well, maybe it's because I just didn't have enough imagination to dream you up.
So, you would not say that you've been damaged by the experience of having Julian for a son?
Damage, no. You made me grow. I'm still working on it, I admit it. But I'm still growing.
Nothing further.
Oh. I thought it was going to be just you.
Well, we thought you might like to see him one last time before he goes away for 3 to 5 years.
Or you could choose to drop the charges.
Your belongings will be released to you from impound, and our client will pay for any repairs.
And you can do whatever you want with the settings. I'm over it.
I don't want the settings. I was wrong, Den. I see that now, and I mean, yes, you can be annoying and stuff, but the thing is that when you were gone, God, I did miss you.
So why didn't you just call him?
Because when I dumped him, I was so rude. I didn't think he'd take me back, but then, Dennis, I realized I want the real you, not just the download. Plus, the showerhead doesn't sing half as good as you do. It sounds all tinny and fake.
I've realized something too. You're the most completely self-absorbed person I've ever met.
So neither of you want his personality? The download, I mean?
I don't care if you sell it on the net.
I'll drop the charges. Can I keep the teddy bear? My little girl misses your voice.
I miss her voice too.
He's gonna call her. Maybe not right away. Next week. He's gonna call her. I saw his face. He's still in love with her.
You know what I've just realized about you?
What?
Westbound Santa Monica train now boarding on track 4.
Come on,
Los
come on,
Angeles,
hustle up.
La Brea,
Tell
Hollywood,
me.
Fairfax, Westwood,
What have you realized about me?
West LA, and Santa Monica.
I'm what?
Westbound Santa Monica train now boarding on track 4.
I'm what?
You're a hopeless romantic. Me too.
Okay. You cried, I cried. It was very refreshing. I'll cherish that memory forever. Let's get a grip here. Because this case is very simple. My clients put their trust in Dr. Bresek. They consulted him in making one of the most intimate and personal decisions a human being can make, and he deliberately lied to them. And as a result of that lie, Mrs. Jansen has had to endure months of clinical depression. She and her husband have been thrown into this agonizing doubt about their own private life, their own private choices, about their own family. Oh, come on, are they going to love their child? Of course they are, but that's not the point. The point is, Dr. Bresek does not get to choose which kind of child they get, or what kind of ethics they should have. It's their life. It's their family. And lying to a patient is blatant malpractice.
Harm. It's a tricky thing. Imagine if this genetic information had been available a long time ago. Who never would have been born? Leonardo da Vinci, Walt Whitman, Samuel Barber, John Cage, Virginia Woolf, Leonard Bernstein, David Hockney, Devine, Robert Rauschenberg, and let's not forget a whole bunch of Greek philosophers. We wouldn't have the Vice President of the United States, a 4-star general who got his arm blown off defending this country. And we can tell ourselves that we wouldn't have been harmed because we would have never known about these people because they would have never existed. But what would we have lost? What do we lose when we create a world of homogenous children? Selecting out anyone who's different, anyone who makes us uncomfortable. who is harmed if we do? It harms all of us beyond measure. Dr. Bresak was trying to protect our entire society. And if he left you a little room to be astonished, well, isn't that what being a parent is about?
No. A romantic is someone who is fundamentally emotional.
No, a hysteric is someone who's fundamentally emotional.
No, a hysteric is someone who's fundamentally hysterical. I am an idealist, and that is different. Is our hollow settlement conference still on?
That pheromone drink is a scam. There's no such thing as a love potion.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, Lucas, you seem to have something on your lapel there. What is... Oh, Lee May, you seem to be shedding a little bit. Getting a little up close and personal. You're quite the little operator, aren't you? Guess the rumors about you are true.
Darwin, grow up. We were on the monorail together.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have. We find in favor of the plaintiff and award damages in the sum of $1.
Thank you. You could have walked away when you found out, but you didn't.
No, I couldn't.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Darwin. I like your yellow tie. You have one new message. First new message.
Darwin, it's Tamara. I got your message. Unfortunately, I'm not free tonight or anytime. You know how
Shut her
busy I
up.
am. I'll call you if I get...
Turn yourself off while you're at it. Tell me a joke.
I don't want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member. You are still connected. Would you like to hear a poem? Many customers enjoy a poem after 1900 hours.
You write poetry?
The author of this poem is William Shakespeare.
Old Donald Duck himself, huh?
My search shows no files of the poetry of Mr. Duck.
Sure, Foxy. Hit me with a Shakespeare.
When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope.
I don't think so. I thought the men on the jury were very sympathetic to Dennis. The parking lot's this way.
Oh, I walked.
You walked? To work? Where do you live?
The marina.
You walked you from the marina? In what, your 7-league boots?
Well, it's not that far, actually. It's only a couple of miles. Plus, it helps me clear my head.
It's dark.
I like walking in the dark. You know, when you can see in people's windows and their lights are on. I should let you go home. Congratulations on the case today.
Same to you.
Thanks. Well, good night. You're married, Lucas. I have to go home.
Who
Here's your file. Sorry it took so long. After 5 years, they go into archives. Okay?
Thanks.
Well, I'll leave you to it then.